Hey everyone, Mr. Boppel here. I wanted to talk because it's been a while and a lot has changed since we've been together last. When we left off, we thought we were going to spring break and Winterim. We were excited. We thought we were going to come back to DCA just like normal, just like every other year, and the reality is that didn't happen. Overnight, our world changed by a tornado that struck our school and left us in shock and awe. Our neighbors, people that we know, we love, maybe you, were left without homes, without power, scared, not sure what's going to happen. The wreckage and the devastation was overwhelming. I remember the first time I saw it. Just a campus we were so used to every single day, torn to shreds. A school that many of you came to when you were very little and you grew up here, all of a sudden destroyed. What do we do about that? And it seemed like we had just started to put the pieces back together. We were rallying around each other. Somehow we were going to figure out what to do next when things changed all over again with the coronavirus. I don't know about you, but it wasn't really on my radar. It was in the news, it was distant, we knew it was in China, there were a couple cases in the US, but it escalated quickly. It started with all our sporting events being canceled. I mean, no March Madness, no Predators, no NBA, the Masters, all that stuff got canceled, concerts, big events, to all of a sudden we're told, hey, you can't be in a group of more than 50 people. What? Then we're told, hey, you can't be in a group of more than 10 people. Some people have 10 people in their house. And so all of a sudden, our lives were completely flipped around. We don't know what's going to happen. How long is it going to be? It's an invisible virus, and the condition is such that you don't even know that you're infected and you're infecting other people. I mean, what are we supposed to do? And so as we're thinking about this, I know that there are a lot of feelings that you're probably feeling, I'm feeling, we're all feeling together. And the first of that is probably some disappointment and some frustration. I mean, you probably had stuff you were looking forward to. Maybe you were going to go to a Predators game. Maybe you're a senior and you were looking forward to doing senior stuff like a normal senior would. And then your school got hit by a tornado. And then the coronavirus. You were looking forward to your spring sports, to just hanging out with your friends and having a normal life. And all of that has been taken away, and we don't know how long it's going to last. We don't know when it's going to go back to normal. That's disappointing, isn't it? And it's frustrating. And what do we do with that? But more than that, we were probably feeling a little bit of fear and a little bit of anxiety. Sometimes we play it off with jokes or with memes, and it's funny. But when we really sit and think about it, it's a little scary to know what's going to happen, to not know what's going to happen, right? Your school gets hit by a tornado. What's going to happen to DCA? Are we going to be able to put it back together? Well, they said we're going to be able to put it back together, but now we've got the coronavirus. And how long am I going to be stuck inside my house? I don't even like my family. I'm going to be stuck with them for forever. Now we're going to do online schooling. How am I going to be able to do that? All these questions, all this uncertainty gives us fear because we don't know what's going to happen. Even people who are supposed to be experts don't know what's going to happen. And it's changing so quickly. A week ago, we were still going to have March Madness. Now we're not. And so as we process all of this, I'm going through it just like you are. I want you to know that that's normal. And what you're feeling is okay. It's okay to feel afraid. It's okay to feel disappointed. It's okay to feel whatever you're feeling. And it's normal to have questions. I have questions. I've started to ask questions about life, about God, like a lot of you probably have too. You're probably if you're normal, you've asked yourself, why, God, is this happening? Right? If you believe that there is a God, why would he let this happen? Doesn't he know? Can't he do something about it? What is he doing about it? Why isn't he doing something? That's a lot of questions, and that's a lot to handle. And the thing is, I don't know that we know all the answers right now. And that's an uncomfortable place to be. I don't know. I don't know all the answers to those questions. But I think there is something that we can know, and something that God wants us to know, that can help us, that we can hold on to in this time of all this uncertainty, all this fear, anxiety, disappointment, frustration. And that's this. The thought that God doesn't let bad things happen just isn't true, right? We look at our world, there is no such thing as a God who doesn't let bad things happen to even good people. It does happen. And in fact, look at what God did. He let his son die a gruesome, horrifying death on a cross. He let something bad happen to someone who was very good. So the God that doesn't let bad things happen to good people like you or like me or people that we know doesn't exist. And that's not a God that we should put our hope in. But there is a God that we should put our hope in. It's the God who promised that there would be bad things that would happen. In fact, Jesus himself said, in this life, you will have trouble. That's really comforting to know that bad stuff is going to happen. Jesus is keeping it real. He's saying, hey, just because you follow me doesn't mean bad stuff's not going to happen to you. It is going to happen. Okay, so what do? You'd say, well, hold on, I'm not through. He said, in this life, you will have trouble, but take heart, for I have overcome the world. What Jesus is saying is that, yes, when bad stuff happens, it rocks our world. Lights went off. Bad stuff. There you go. See, there's an example of bad stuff happening in our world. Darkness. But what Jesus is saying is that when you're surrounded by darkness, I am the light. Do you need hope? I have hope. Why? Because Jesus said, I conquered the world. I overcame it. I overcame death. Coronavirus, I'm stronger than that. A tornado, I'm stronger than that. And yes, I might let bad stuff happen to you. God let bad stuff happen to his son. But why? Because he was doing something better through it. And that's what he wants to do in your life and in my life. God wants, I believe so much that what God wants to do is take what's happening right now, this suffering, and he wants to use that to mold us into the type of people that can do the amazing things that he has for us on the other side of this. So please know that what's happening right now, this season that we don't know how long it's going to take, it's not a waste of time. It's frustrating, but we can focus on what God has for us in this time. It's scary, but we can take heart even in the midst of what's happening. Jesus tells us to fear not all the time. He tells people to fear not. Why? Not because there's nothing to fear. Yes, there are things to fear. Death is scary. Not fear not because there's nothing to fear, but because he has already overcome death. When he rose from the grave, he conquered death. He handed us the victory. He hands it to you, and he hands it to me. So, we don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. If you think you know what's going to happen, let me know, because I'm figuring out just like we all are. But here's what I know we can't do. We can keep going. Take it day by day. We're going to do school, not because school is the most important thing in the world, but because it gives us something to work towards. We're going to love our neighbors by being responsible, by washing our hands, by distancing ourselves. We're going to do the wise thing. We're not going to create all this unnecessary risk. And on the other side of it, we know that God, the God who conquered death when he brought his son back to life, has got us. And we don't have to be afraid because it can't touch us. And even if we were to die, God's already conquered that. So, I don't know how that lands with you. And I don't know, maybe you've got other questions, and I want you to know I'm here for you. And we're here for you if you have those. But I just want you to imagine. Could you imagine what it would look like if just our school, just DCA, in the midst of a tornado that took away our school, and in the midst of a virus that has got everybody spooked, if in the midst of that we showed tremendous courage, that we weren't even afraid of death, because we knew our God was bigger than that. Could you imagine what kind of message that would send to the world? What kind of hope and light that would bring to the world that desperately, desperately needs it? I think we can do that. I think we can be that light. And I cannot wait to see what God does on the other side of this. So, like I said, we're going to keep going. We're going to do it. And I will see you in the days and the weeks and everything that comes after this. So, see you guys. Love you.